Welcome to another explainer. Today, we're doing something pretty incredible. We are stripping away the myths and looking directly at the raw archaeological data to uncover the hidden, prehistoric roots of Sri Lanka. We're going on a journey through deep time, treating in dusty textbooks for a look at ancient landscapes and meticulously excavated artifacts. Get ready, because we're about to rethink everything you thought you knew about human history on this island. Okay, let's kick things off with a truly staggering number, 1.6 million. That is how far back the Paleolithic roots of Sri Lanka might actually stretch. For decades, the timeline was thought to be way shorter, but discoveries of Acheulean hand axes in the limestone caves of the Jaffna region have completely transformed our understanding. These robust stone tools tell us that early hominids were walking this landscape over 1 million years earlier than we originally believed. Absolutely wild. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover unearthing Sri Lanka's deep past, the early Paleolithic era, the Ratnapura culture, Homo sapiens belongadensis, the protohistoric Iron Age, and finally, how all this is rewriting human history. Section 1. Unearthing Sri Lanka's deep past. The detective work. To really grasp this immense timeline, we have to think like detectives reading the very soil of the earth. As leading archaeologist Dr. Sarasin.Norway points out, the evidence isn't just scattered around randomly. It's preserved in 3 highly specific geological time capsules across the island: the Ratnapura River Basin, the Aranamadu Formation, and the rock shelters of the lowland wet zone. Section 2. The early Paleolithic era. Footprints in the soil. So we absolutely have to talk about the Aranamadu Formation. Just imagine a sweeping coastal layer of decayed ancient sand dunes, baked to a deep reddish-brown over millennia. These red latticeal sands have perfectly preserved quartz and chert tools that dramatically push back our understanding of human presence. Because of the harsh tropical climate, organic materials like bone didn't survive, but these resilient stone tools speak volumes. They prove hominids were thriving here between 250,000 to 500,000 years ago. And when archaeologists actually dig into this at sites like the Bandala Patharajawala excavation, it's like reading the pages of an impossibly old book. You start at the recent drifting sands on top, go down through a stratum of lagoon mollusks, deep into the red sandy loam, past the basal gravels all the way to bedrock. Digging through those distinct layers takes us back over 125,000 years into the past. Section 3. The Ratnapura culture, the Age of Giants. Now, traveling further into the mid-Pleistocene, the landscape was completely unrecognizable. The soil data proves early hominids were actually sharing their home with extinct megafauna. We found actual hippopotamus fossils buried deep in the Ratnapura gemsands. This tells us that instead of the environment we see today, this area used to be a lush, sprawling network of massive ancient lakes and torrential rivers. The hominids living among these giants left behind tools that were, incredibly primitive. The Ratnapura artifacts rely heavily on massive quartz pebbles. Honestly, many of these crude choppers and flakes are so basic, they're almost indistinguishable from naturally fractured stones. Toolmakers would simply strike a flake off a heavy pebble. Whether they used unifacial or bifacial flaking, meaning chipping on one or both sides, it was purely functional, heavy-duty survival gear with extremely rare retouches. Section 4. Homo sapiens belongadensis, the leap in technology. Fast forward to about 40,000 years ago, and we witness a brilliant leap in human evolution with the arrival of anatomically modern humans. The contrast is staggering. We jump from massive, clumsy rocks of the Ratnapura culture to delicately crafted geometric microliths, bone points, and eventually beautifully decorated wheel-made pottery. It's a complete technological revolution happening right before our eyes in the archaeological record. Homo sapiens belongadensis completely transformed island life. They mastered survival in dense tropical rainforests, making their homes in majestic, wet zone caves like Badadambalina and Fahien. They didn't just survive, they thrived. They created advanced microlith technology, used pitted pebble hammers, and even left behind early pottery marked with the physical impressions of woven mats and wicker baskets. Plus, we start seeing complex ceremonial burials, which points to a huge shift in social and spiritual consciousness. Scholar Bridget Alchin really hit the nail on the head here. She describes it as a remarkable industry, noting that despite quartz being notoriously difficult to work with, it shatters so unpredictably, these ancient craftsmen produced incredibly refined geometric shapes and delicate bifacial arrowheads. It requires astonishing skill to craft flawless miniature tools that are barely a centimeter long. Section 5. The Proto-Historic Iron Age, Building Civilizations. Leaving the Stone Age behind, we enter a crucial bridge to historic civilizations. Following this timeline, we see an absolute explosion of cultural momentum. It starts around 1300 BC with early Iron Age findings in Rancha Madama. By 900 BC, we see sophisticated black and red ware pottery at Sandigiriya. Then come the sweeping settlements of Yatigopota, culminating by the 5th century BC in the magnificent, advanced town planning of the citadel of Anuradhapura. During this proto-historic era, society fundamentally shifted. People moved entirely out of the rock shelters, they began taming domesticated animals, cultivating crops, and forging iron on a widespread scale. We also see a massive expansion in elaborate funerary culture. These rapid societal advancements absolutely laid the groundwork for the great historic kingdoms of Sri Lanka. Section 6. Rewriting Human History, the Global Connection. Let's zoom out for a second to see the global picture. When modern humans migrated out of Africa around 80,000 years ago, they didn't just head north. A massive wave took the southern access route. The pristine archaeological data here tracks this perfectly, proving that Sri Lanka wasn't some isolated outpost. Way before 40,000 years ago, it was a vital, bustling ancient highway for modern humans, migrating all the way along the coastlines towards Australia. So, from hominids wielding crude quartz pebbles alongside prehistoric hippos, to the brilliant, delicate microliths of the rainforest dwellers, all the way up to sophisticated Iron Age town planners, the island's soil holds an unbroken chain of human triumph. It is a stunning, continuous bridge stretching deep into time. Which leaves us with a pretty thrilling question to wrap up this explainer. If the red sands and limestone caves of one single island can rewrite million-year-old timelines, what other incredible secrets of our ancient ancestry are still out there, just waiting for the next strike of an archaeologist's trowel? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep wondering, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next one.